Howdy, folks, and welcome back. I want to talk to you today about something that blew my mind. Literally, in a way, and I'll talk about that later. But I had the pleasure and fortune to win 2 tickets to see the Keep Me Fed album pre-release show in Los Angeles, actually at the Whisky A Go-Go. This was on June 26, 2024, which is yesterday as I'm recording this. This was something that was put on by Republic Records. They had a contest, and you could just enter it on a web forum, and if you won, you got yourself and a guest that you could bring. So essentially 2 tickets. And I got lucky. I won. As did a number of people on the Warnings Discord. So we got to experience this stuff in a pretty cool way, put it that way. As you can see in the image down there, I've got the actual marquee from that evening, indicating that it was a one night only, the Warning Keep Me Fed album release show. So anyway, I'm hoping in this video that I'm going to share a little bit about what I did. I took some video, and I'll share a little of that as I go along, and some images as well. But anyway, let's start from the beginning. Okay, maybe not the beginning. After I won. The beginning of my journey and adventure on that day. I drove down from the Sacramento area. I'm from Northern California, and drove down to L.A. We only found out where it was going to be and when it was going to be the day before. So it's very short notice. But we knew it was generally going to be in L.A., so I was able to take the time off and all of that. So I drove down there. I knew that it was going to be at night now. I think doors open at 7, so you can imagine it's going to be maybe 2-3 hours till I could get out of there. I didn't want to drive home in the middle of the night, so I went ahead and got a hotel. So first thing I did was check into my hotel. I actually checked into my hotel. I got a hotel in Santa Clarita, which is about 45 minutes north of West Hollywood, where the Whisky A Go-Go is. I did that because I wanted to get out of the main, area of Los Angeles and up closer to home before I checked in for the night. So I went from there to the Whisky, arrived at about 5:30, and there was already a line of fans just around the corner. Fortunately for me, I guess, my guest was a longtime fan named Robert. Hello, Robert, if you're watching. Appreciate you coming along, and he got there first. He was like the first one in line. He knew a lot of the hardcore fans. He is one of the hardest core, from what I can tell. Got there hours before the door opened, and since we didn't know for sure if ticket winners and guests had to go in together, basically he reserved a spot, and I just walked up and went with him. I felt kind of bad being in front, but turns out it wasn't such a blessing, and we'll talk about that in a little bit too. But anyway, that was a fun experience, meeting a lot of patrons and hardcore fans, and just, I guess, casual fans, because there must have been some fans that weren't patrons that entered the contest and won, or some people maybe entered the contest weren't even really fans, just maybe saw an opportunity to see a new band and won some tickets. I didn't get a chance to talk to everybody, so I don't know. There was also a line of industry folks there too, press, other people in the recording industry probably that were going in as well to check out the pre-release show. Some of them may have not really experienced the Warning before, so I thought that was pretty cool too. But anyway, moving on. Before we got in the front door, we did meet a couple of pretty nice Republic folks. There was somebody from marketing and somebody from, wasn't promotions, was it? But anyway, they were the ones doing the ID checks to make sure that we were the winners, and we got in. And since we were in the front, we grabbed some primo spots right up at the front, right up at the stage. And that position would come to haunt me. And I've been teasing that a couple times. I'll come back and talk about that in a minute. But don't get me wrong, I wouldn't trade that experience for anything, but there were some negative aspects to that as well. So we're inside. We stood there for another 90 minutes. So we got in at 7, and the band didn't actually start playing until a little after 8:30. They let everybody in. They made sure to remind everybody many, many times that you can get drinks at the bar. There's 3 bars, and you can get drinks, and be sure to tip your bartender. They're really good about reminding us all of that. And also that they had a photo booth upstairs that you can go and use, and they really wanted to push that one for some reason. But I understand now why. I thought it was just a person taking your picture and you charging you like $50 to get a instant print or something. But no, it was an actual kind of photo booth, like they used to have at carnivals and stuff. And I noticed today on the patron Discord that there was a Danny Powanali went up to that photo booth and took some pictures and posted it on social media. So that was pretty awesome to see. So as I stood there, as somebody who's never been to a Warning live show before, I was having a lot of fun watching everybody do the things that they do as they're setting up. You get to see the crew members you only saw in after movies and things before, moving around and doing things, setting up basses and drums and stuff and tweaking things. I got to see Ali's bass get taken up to the green room and then came back down, and then her other bass, so the blue bass, and then the Inferno bass came a little later and got set up. So I saw those because I was positioned right in front of Ali, right in front of her mic stand. So I got to see all of that. That was pretty cool. I also saw Luis, their father, go up and do some things on Powell's computer. I'm sure just kind of configuring some last minute things, which is really cool to see. Really cool to see all this stuff in person. So I was very excited about that. I like I said, I was very excited about it. I don't think I really showed it externally. I'm kind of an introvert, especially in crowds. I can be extroverted when I have to be. It's part of my job. I can be in front of a room full of people that I'm trying to teach something or trying to demo something to as a software engineer, and I can be very extroverted if I have to be. And I kind of am in a way here on the YouTube channel too, although I don't see you. So it's not quite the same. But there, as I was taking everything in, I was just sitting there kind of, blank face, just kind of looking around and just in awe and wonder about all the stuff that I've only ever seen in videos. And I thought that was exciting and interesting. So anyway, it was a unique situation and a strange feeling, but still a cool one. Finally, like I said, a little time after 8:30 or so, Jason Flom, who's the founder and CEO of Lava Records, he's the one that signed them a few years back. And then they did the Error album, and now they're doing Keep Me Fed. He came in to introduce the band. First of all, he tried to hype us up a little bit, say basically, are you ready to save rock and roll?
We are here tonight to save rock and roll. Are you ready? Fuck, I couldn't hear that. Are you ready? In that case, please join me in welcoming the best rock band you could possibly want to see tonight, The Warning!
And I thought that was kind of cool. Almost essentially calling The Warning the saviors of rock and roll, which, a lot of Warning fans wouldn't necessarily disagree with. But then introducing the band. And then I actually filmed some of that and turned the camera, and I got to see the first Pow, then Danny, and then Ali come down the stairs, give Jason a high five, each of them, and then go to their stations. And that was almost surreal. I mean, it's like, I've seen this so many times. I've seen this stuff. I've seen the full concert videos where they do the behind the scenes, and then they go and take their spots and everything. I've seen all of that, but to see it in person, just a few feet away, was just really cool. Now, it's at this point I need to remind all of you guys that I am a rock concert newbie, not just to the Warning live shows, to any rock live shows. In fact, I've mentioned in a couple of earlier videos that my only exposure to live musical performances was a performance of Swan Lake back when I was a kid. And in that, I was in a big theater. I was many rows back in a nice comfy chair. So it's not quite the same as being right up at the stage in a small venue with a very loud, we know they're a very loud, rock trio, power trio as a lot of people refer to them as, right? So I don't think I was ready for what was about to hit me. Now, remember, I'm standing literally a few feet in front of Alejandra, a few feet in front of their bass player, if you're not familiar with The Warning. She is one of the most awesome rock bassists that is out there today. And she can kick some serious butt with her bass. I was in for a major shock to my system. And like I said, I didn't even know it. I learned a few things last night. Things that I believe every person who's ever been to a rock concert already knows, but things that none of my family or friends or even fellow Warning fans or patrons warn me about. Not that they should, because they probably assume anybody who's going to a rock concert, period, let alone a morning concert, must know these things, but I didn't. And, in hindsight, I should have, but I didn't. I'm gonna give you some lessons that I learned in case you're watching this and you've never been to a rock concert, not just a morning concert. I'm going to give you 3 tips that I picked up pretty quickly, pretty much in building order of importance. Number 1, bring a portable battery charger pack for your phone. When I drove down, my phone was about 50%, maybe 40, 50%. And I thought, okay, I'll check into the hotel. I'll just charge it, my quick charger. For some reason, the quick charger didn't quick charge. And the little limited time I had at the hotel, I only got it up to about 56, 57%. So I really wish I had had a charger, because by the time I was done with the concert, my phone was down to about 12% or so. And I needed Google Maps and the GPS to get myself back to the hotel. So unfortunately, I couldn't stay a long time after the concert was over, because I had to get going, hoping that the thing didn't run out of juice. And my car, for some reason, even though it has a port that can charge phones, when it's got GPS running and the screen's on and all that stuff, it can barely keep the charge held. So if I was at 12% when I plugged in, I'm basically going to stay at 12% until or maybe even drop to 11 or 10 by the time I get to my destination. So bring a portable battery charger pack. I saw all the experienced fans there had those. I saw them all plugged into their phones before they went in and all that. So they all know that little tip. So definitely something I will do in the future. Number 2, leave your pockets. I'm going to leave my pockets mostly empty when you go to the venue. I guess not every venue is the same, but this one wanted you to take everything out of your pockets, and then they use the magnetron sweeper wand thing to see if you had anything metal on you and stuff like that. So makes it a lot easier if you don't have to pull out, in my case, an ID badge, 3 sets of keys, a wallet, a couple of other trinkets I had in my pocket. It made it kind of a jumbling act. In fact, I dropped my keys at one point. So that was interesting. So empty your pockets. And I guess that's probably even less insignificant than the battery pack. So maybe I got those reversed. But this next one is absolutely the most important thing. And I learned this lesson the hard way at the first chord that the warning played. Bring earplugs or ear protection. Yeah, I know. You probably heard that and you're like, what? Are you an idiot? Yes, I'm an idiot. It didn't dawn on me for some reason, because I'd been watching all their live performances on video, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. Never thought that I would be right in front of the house speakers and right in front of like Ali's monitor behind her, where she likes to feel the bass too, just like Danny likes to feel her guitar through her monitor. So I was, as soon as the first few chords hit, I literally could not hear anything else. It was a wall of sound. And I don't mean that in a good way. I mean that in a, oh my God, my ears are going to explode way. And I had a hard time appreciating anything. And that bass, oh my God. The bass just was vibrating my body. I mean, literally every inch of my body was vibrating on every single, string, every single chord, everything that was happening there. So if I had that ear protection, I think I would have enjoyed that a little bit more. So much so that when I talk here about the set list, you'll understand something I'm about to say. The band did have a small set list. And like I said, I see that as a blessing now because of what it was doing to my ears, even though I'd wish they had played more. We got a peek at the set list because it was taped to the floor right in front of Ali, right by her mic stand. And the set list was pretty short. They had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 songs on the set list. And I think the whole concert was like under 30 minutes or something like that. It was meant to be even on the set list, they call it the Keep Me Fed Showcase. It really wasn't meant to be a full-on concert or anything like that. It was really just a showcase of songs. And all of them but the last song were from Keep Me Fed. In fact, the first song was 6 Feet Deep, which is, if I'm not mistaken, the first time it's been played to a live audience was here at the Whisky. I think it was its debut. And I wish I could have really heard it. That's the part about me regretting. I don't regret going to this at all. Don't get me wrong. But I regret not having my ear protection, not even remembering that I needed it. Because 6 Feet Deep played, and my body was like in shock at the sound in my ears, the sensations of the vibrations of the bass and everything, that I couldn't really hear the song, if you know what I mean. I knew there was a song playing, but I was so freaked out that I didn't really pay attention to it. So while I've technically heard 6 Feet Deep, when it gets released tomorrow, and I do, hopefully, I'll probably wait till any kind of a video, either a lyric video or whatever. When I hear that, it'll be the first time I've really heard it, if you know what I mean. But that was an experience. Now, by the time 6 Feet Deep was over, my ears were ringing. They wouldn't stop really ringing. I don't mean like a sound or like a loud ringing. What I really mean is all the sound in the world became kind of muffled. But I could still hear, but it was just not a pleasant experience hearing. I thought about moving back. People are like, well, you're probably thinking, why don't you just move to the back of the house? I thought about that. But then I made a decision. I thought to myself, you know what? How often am I going to be able to get right up front, right in front of the warning when they're playing live? Right in front of Ali, in this case. I thought to myself, to hell with my ears. It's going to hurt, and I'm probably going to, pay for it for a while. Hopefully not very long term for one, short concert. But I want to experience this. I want to see what I can see. I want to take in being that close to a band that I really love, a band that I think is probably the best rock band out there right now. That's creating new content, really. So I said, well, screw it. I promise when I go to Pomona in October, I'm going to bring ear protection, and I'm going to position myself further back, probably because I won't even be at the front of the line. But I'll get to see what it's like from all perspectives. But for this concert, for this short concert, and since I'm already at the front, I'm going to sit there and I'm just going to use my eyes and take in the sense that isn't being just blown out, which is my eyes, and take in what I'm seeing. Now, it doesn't mean I couldn't hear and enjoy the other songs. I could. Because, after 6 Feet Deep, Danny did that corny pun she does in a lot of videos where she says, are you guys excited? Do you want more? Because, of course, the next song was More. And, of course, I know that song. So even though I had the same hearing issues and it still was a wall of sound, I could discern the sounds, and I could figure out the song really well. And as one person pointed out to me, when this happens, especially with older ears, the singing voice tends to get higher, and Danny's voice was getting higher and higher with every song, and it was not really not chipmunky yet. It wasn't that kind of high, but it wasn't the normal singing voice, I could tell. But it was still fun to see them performing these songs that I knew. After Sick, they did Burnout. Again, I know it's Burnout, so I was focused on watching them all perform. I was watching Pow on the drums, doing what she does. I was trying to watch Danny as best I could. She was on the other side of the stage, but I could still see her. And, of course, I was watching Ali because she was right in front of me. And I really took great care in watching what she was doing because I don't think I'd ever get this chance again. I probably won't. I get a chance to be that close to her before. Again, sorry. So it was fun to see her, and everything she did with the strings. It was just at one point at numerous points I was just mesmerized watching her fingers on those strings because it's masterful what she does. It's wonderful. Then after Burnout came Oscuris, and after that one, Danny did something great. She told us that this was their Spanish language song for the album, and what she said was she loves it when a non-Spanish speaking crowd sings the Spanish lyrics back to them, as this crowd was doing. Mind you, I was sitting here just stunned, so I wasn't really singing back, but everybody else was, and I thought that was really heartwarming, and that she appreciated that. I thought was awesome. Now, I don't want to be one of those people that a lot of people talk about who just sit there and record the entire thing, because as was rightly pointed out, when you're recording, are you really watching it and experiencing, or are you recording it so you can watch it and experience it later, in which case did you just miss what you were recording and watching it with your own eyes? So I tried to watch a lot of it and not record. I did record some. And one of those songs I recorded was some of Sick. And then one of my all-time favorites. Now, one of my all-time favorites, Hell You Call a Dream. I did record a bunch of that as well, and I thought that was just amazing. And I could follow along. I loved it. And by the way, I don't know if it's that my ears just became used to it over time, or I just became numb to it. Even though it was still super loud. And you know what the worst part for my ears was? It wasn't the band. It was the crowd behind me. Because the Warning crowd is very loud. They cheer, they scream, they chant, and that is awesome. I love it. But my poor ears got more punishment from the fans behind me than from the band in front of me. And that's saying a lot. I mean, that's just saying that the Warning fans are just a crazy, loud, fun bunch. Wouldn't want it to be any other way, right? So after Hell You Call a Dream, Danny introduced the audience to her sisters and to herself. I've seen her do this in other performances, other concert performances. It was really, really cool to see that and experience that in front of me live.
Everybody, please make some noise for our little sister and your bass player, Alejandra! All right, and put your hands together for the middle sister on the drums, Paulina! And I'm your guitar player, Danny. It's a pleasure to be with you guys tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And together, we are the Warning. We are three sisters from Monterrey, Mexico, who love rock and roll, just like you do. Thank you so much for rocking out with us. Hey. And we, the Warning, are going to be touring the U.S. soon, did you see? Woo! I hope to see you guys there. We'll be back in the fall for sure. All right.
Ali's smiling when she's introduced and taking a little bit of a bow and stuff and waving to everybody. Pow from behind the drum kit doing the same thing. I thought that was wonderful. And Danny, of course, being a little self-deprecating in introducing herself, which was very endearing. I thought it was really wonderful. Of course, most of us didn't need an introduction, but there were industry and press folks there. And besides, I'm pretty sure there were new fans. And I think Danny that's just something they do every concert or every new venue or whatever. But like I said, it was really cool. As she was doing the introduction, Danny was given the baritone guitar, because you know what's coming next. That's right. Automatic Sun. And that's a great song, too. I really like that. You know, my initial reaction to it, I said, ooh, it's really a distorted sound. And people thought that I didn't like distortion. I do like distortion. It was just new for me, for the Warning. So I really loved hearing that as well as I could hear it. So it was a great performance of Automatic Sun there. But what I was waiting for the most had finally come. Okay? Even though 7 of the 8 songs were from Keep Me Fed, they kept their current tradition going and ended this show with Evolve from the Error album. And that is my favorite song. In case you didn't see my top 10 list, it hasn't changed. That is still my number 1 song. I still love Evolve more than anything in the world. And to try to describe not only how cool it was to see Ali doing that break or breakdown or whatever they do, where they go to the bass and the drum when Danny's not playing the guitar right away, and they're starting that whatever they call it. I'm not a musician. To see Ali doing that was awesome. To see Pow commanding the audience, the crowd to put up their hands just like she did on the MTV VMAs. And keep their hands up. I thought that was great. Of course, at that point I was filming because I wanted to film Evolve. I wanted to because that's my favorite song. I really wanted to. I was trying to experience it as much as I can, but I was filming it too, and I was trying to raise my hands, but it's a little hard. But then to experience the POW scream in person. As somebody new to the Warning Live, you guys who've been there, you've heard it. I had this big smile on my face. I know I did. I couldn't control it. You can't describe it. It's just amazing. If you haven't experienced it in person, you got to experience this song in person. Got to experience the scream in person. That's just great. I loved it. And I mentioned before that I was watching Ali a lot because she was right in front of me. But I really did focus on a number of songs because, especially early on, because my hearing was so impacted. I was really focusing on her fingers and her movements. And she's an awe-inspiring bass player. I mean, I'm not a musician. I haven't really studied bass players. But to just see the sounds and the way she moves her fingers and stuff, I can't, I'm in awe. And then when Evolve was over, Danny thanked us in Spanish, muchas gracias. And the band took their traditional post-show picture and then threw out the picks and sticks, which apparently is customary from what I understand and what I've seen in concert videos.
Yes! Muchas gracias!
Thank you so much, LA, for being here with us tonight. We'll take a picture. Come on, guys. Awesome.
And that was it. The crowd was chanting. I don't know the exact word, but they were chanting that word that is basically like encore, I guess, the equivalent of the French word. They're trying to get another song, and I knew that wasn't going to happen because I don't think everybody in the crowd saw the set list, but you could see that was it. They weren't doing anymore. And it was just a short show anyway. And I think Danny was kind of like, she said something, and it was, I imagine it was something like, sorry, there's nothing more. But it was just an amazing, fun time to see this band perform in person. Like I said, I am blown away that I had that opportunity. And even though I was an idiot and I forgot ear protection, didn't even realize I needed ear protection, I still really had a good time and enjoyed it. All in all, I am incredibly happy I had this wonderful opportunity, especially to see them in such a small venue. Because we all know their venues are getting bigger and bigger. And it won't be long before they're in big theaters all the time or arenas or stadiums. It won't be that long. We've been saying that for a couple of years, I know, but it really won't be that long. It was good to see them in a very small venue. The Whisky's a very small place, relatively speaking. I don't know its exact capacity, but it's probably just like a couple hundred tops. And this wasn't a full house, I don't think. I don't think it was completely full. So it was an incredible experience to see them like this, live, right up close in a small venue. Do I wish I'd remembered my ear protection? Yes. Do I regret anything? No. I had a blast. I really had a blast. I met so many nice Warning Army members, TWA members at this event. I appreciate them welcoming me as a newbie. I think somebody called me a virgin. Okay, I'll take it. But it was something else. It was a night I will truly, truly remember for forever. This is a once in a lifetime kind of thing, I think. I was mentioning to somebody else that I think they said this might be the last time they play at the Whisky. And I said, well, maybe they'll make it a tradition every time they release a new album that they play at the Whisky. We can hope. And then, it'll be harder and harder to get a ticket, but maybe they'll keep doing something like that. So anyway, thank you to the TWA that were there. Thank you to Republic Lava for having this contest and then, picking me in the random drawing or whatever it was and letting me attend. And most of all, thank you, Danny, Pau, and Ali. Thank you to the Warning and all of your crew and your family for putting on a hell of a show and for being such an incredible, important thing in my life and in a lot of people's lives right now, and an important thing to rock. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll see you in Pomona because I'm going to try this one more time in a relatively small venue. And then after that, I'm going to Aftershock to see what they're like in a festival environment because I want to get the full experience. I'll have the upfront in a tiny venue, and then in the audience in a smaller venue, and then outdoors in a festival. And then I may never see them live again. I don't know. I would love to see them more live, but chances of them coming back in my area, I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you attended, let me know in the comments. If I didn't get the chance to see you, or if I did see you, say hi in the comments. If you have any questions that I didn't answer, put them in the comments. I'll be happy to try to answer as best I can. And if you've ever seen a live show, how does it compare? Obviously, this is a much smaller set, and obviously you were probably smarter and had ear protection. You probably enjoyed it a lot more. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.